Hello friends, this is Bobby and Jive with Time to Get Going. I'd like to share a little bit of my day as I start. Jive's getting ready for work right now. She normally joins me in the gym too. We have a gym in our house where we work out every day. It's a little bit difficult for me right now. I'm just starting to get back into doing this again. 2 months ago, just over 2 months ago now, I had 2 stents put in my heart, and they went through my arm from here up through and into my heart. So my arm has been really kind of weak, and I've got issues. It's still having some trouble, but working out in the gym is starting to help loosen it up. And that's not my first time I've had something wrong with my arm. About 12 years ago, I was hit with an excavator because I was in a spot I shouldn't have been in. I was a supervisor of a crew doing some work in one of the dams. And I got in the place where I shouldn't have been, and the excavator hit me. And it pretty much smashed the same arm. And it put the elbow bone, came out the end here, and broke the forearm in 2 places. So it took me a little time to recover from that. And that's on top of the fact that I was in a severe accident when I was in the Army back in the beginning of the 70s. So I've dealt with some issues, been in some sort of pain pretty much every day of my life because of my back injuries, but I do pretty good, not too bad. And that's why I work out every day. So kind of the primary reason I'm reaching out today and talking on the camera instead of doing much more is to thank everybody who's been supporting us since we started on this YouTube journey. We finally reached 500 subscribers, and it's thanks to all of you, and we really do appreciate it and would love for it to continue going and continue growing. So if everybody could just hit the like and subscribe and share. I didn't even realize about the share point of this until I was looking at the analytics. I don't really follow that, but looking at the analytics yesterday, I saw that there were even shares on our site, and I don't know anything about that. I don't know about sharing. Again, I'm not a young guy, so all this newer technology, I'm just trying to learn it as I go. You know, it's not that I'm not smart enough to figure it out. I just need guidance, a little help learning how to do it. And I'm willing to do that. Just have people show me, tell me what to do. The editing, I've been learning to do the editing all on my own too. And I think it's starting to get a little bit better. It's not so much the editing is the issue, it's just trying to figure out content to do that people want to watch, that people would be interested in, and I don't know that. So that's another thing that you could leave in the comments is tell us something you would like us to do or show. We really prefer to travel and go out and do stuff, but I still haven't retired. I will at the end of this year, and Jai probably still won't right away, but I'm thinking maybe a year. I mean, this COVID deal that's going on in her profession, it's the worst possible job I think you could have. So being an emergency room nurse, everybody's got to give a shout out to her for that. I mean, it's a strong-willed, caring person that would get up every morning and go care for this, to deal with it hands-on every day. I couldn't do it. I mean, I tell her, just don't go. Just tell them until this crisis is over, or even just retire. She doesn't have to do this. Yeah, as I've had a little bit of time to think a little bit more today, I thought I wanted to say that our first responders are pretty special people, and we should all be practicing good judgment when we go out in public. We should be successfully dealing with the social distancing and wearing masks as required, and try to help stop the unnecessary spread that's putting our loved ones in danger every day. They don't want to have to do this. They don't necessarily want to be dealing with this every day, but it's their job, and because they're passionate about their jobs, they do what they're required to do. So we should do what's best and do our best not to put them in harm's way. I'm also a first responder, but I at least have the opportunity not to have to work with a COVID patient, with COVID people. I can distance myself from it with my profession. But our first responders that don't have an option, they're put in harm's way every day having to deal with it, and we should do our best not to make it worse than it needs to be. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to share a little bit about how we met too. We met online. It's been years ago already, but it was a little bit difficult challenge for us because her English wasn't very good at the time, and I clearly don't know any Thai. So we were communicating on the internet back and forth, and finally, after doing that for a few months, I started talking to her on the phone, and then decided, well, at the same time, that accident I was talking about where I broke my arm and had the issues with the excavator, at the same time it broke all of my teeth, all of them. It broke every tooth. So I hadn't started getting any care given. They weren't, I mean, like falling out, but they were chipped and cracked in places. And when I actually went and met her the very first time, she was living in North Hollywood. When I showed up there, she comes outside with a newspaper clip for dentists that I could go to. Just kind of sharing what her caring heart is all about. How she's didn't really even know me, and she's worried about helping me to fix my teeth. So we went on that way for about 6 months, me going back and forth to North Hollywood. And from living out here, and we showed in an earlier video that can be a 2-hour drive, and it's only 30 miles away. But it can generally be a 2-hour drive each way. So I would, as soon as I'd get off work, I'd go and get her, and we'd go do things on the weekends. So after a while, we figured out that it was more than just a friendship, that we were going to make more out of it. So she was still trying to communicate with me with an old laptop that was slow and kept crashing, so I offered to buy her a new one at the time, and she was very surprised by that. Somebody that she barely knew, that she'd been only dating, offered to buy her a laptop, buy her a new computer. So we just knew that things were going to move forward from there. And after about a year, we got married. And then it took us 3 years of effort to get, well, after we got married, she was able to get her green card here because she was here on a student visa. So she was able to get her green card, and then it took us 3 years of fairly costly and time consuming for her to get her citizenship. But she learned more about our history and the civics part of the United States than I know, and she had to go take the test to be able to become a citizen. And she's just so smart that it came easy for her. She's got a master's degree in nursing, and so her more intelligent end kind of mixes well with my not so intelligent end. I do have a degree too in business management, but I don't have a master's degree. I've got a bachelor's degree. So I guess we could go further into conversations about us and our life when the time comes and I do a live stream. But again, the primary reason for this visit was to thank everybody from the bottom of our heart for subscribing to us and putting us over that 500 subscriber threshold. So we're very thankful for that, and hope to see you again soon. This is Bobby and Jai with Time to Get Going. Out.